How you entrepreneurs? Today we have a exciting one. We have Tommy Reynolds. He is the owner of Hardcore Fitness. He's in charge of the whole Southern California region, San Diego. He's building out. This is a new kind of platform. If you've been to that kind of the CrossFit gyms, you've been to the regular gyms, this is personal training on steroids.
Welcome to the road to growth, success of an entrepreneur.
We've raised the bar.
Learn firsthand from successful business owners and create your own path to success.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
It's time to hit the road to growth with real estate agent Vinny SD.
All right, we are here with Tommy Reynolds, the owner of Hardcore Fitness.
Yes.
Or Southern California Hardcore Fitness?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right, so tell us a little about Hardcore Fitness.
So the founder is Larry Nolan, and his wife, Nadia. I always want to make sure she gets her shout out. They started this in a park, I guess, now it's 11 or 12 years ago. And then it was just a park turned into a gym. I met Larry in 2011. 2013, we opened the second location down here. So it took 6 years to get the second location. The third location was the El Cajon location. Then we opened a location in Orlando, and then downtown was actually the fourth or fifth location of Hardcore Fitness. So, I mean, it just kind of grew really quick over the last handful of years. And so, it's been awesome. Long ride, good ride.
So what pushed you to start a gym?
It's funny, as on the drive over here, we were just talking about back in the day, I used to do real estate, and we used to do mostly mortgages, like loans. So my first job out of college was Ameriquest, and we were just joking about this fact of, like, you used to cold call people on a Monday night while they're eating dinner with their family, and you would get their social security number to run their credit to pre-qual them for a loan. Like, that's crazy. So I used to do that, and that was I graduated college 2005. So I had a couple good years of a run. I was super, 23. It was awesome. And then 2008, lived through that whole movie, The Big Short.
Yeah.
I don't know. How long have you been doing this?
7 years.
Okay. So you missed the bad part. It was horrible. So after that, I got laid off 3 times, and I had to file bankruptcy. I was evicted, living on my friends' couches. So, like, it was, like, total, like, the worst situation ever. And then I just decided to not try to chase money and chase my passion, which was fitness. So I already taken all my friends to the gym anyways. Started working out, like, hardcore working out. No pun intended. When I was 18. And so by the time I was, like, 27 is when I started this whole personal trainer gig.
So you were fairly consistent with the working out from the age of 18 and so on. Was there ever a break when you were getting stressed out with work, when you were in the real estate industry?
No, you know what's funny about the real estate thing was I would always get the workout. Like, you guys work long days. There's hours. There's like 12 hours. I was always into the fitness. Either I took the lunch break, went before or after. Fitness has just always been part of the routine. And so, as most people, I think now, most of us, even like the Gary V's of the world, fitness is your stress relief. That's how you get it out. And for me now, it's the hour without my phone to shut it down. So no, it's always been a part. Always.
So you were, you said bankruptcy, kind of everything was falling apart, but you kept that consistently with the fitness. And then you just decided, you know what, I'm already doing this. I'm getting my stress out. Why can't I make this more of my life? Yeah.
So what happened was I actually got a job at P.F. Chang's in in Fashion Valley here. A friend got me the deal, got the hookup. So I was a bartender there, and I think I was 27, 28. And obviously that was like not my lifelong dream to be a bartender at P.F. Chang's. I ended up being there for 5 years. It was a great job. And so, I was going to the gym, taking my friends, and I said, figured out, why don't I just go get certified, become a trainer? And then I started taking people out to the park here in Mission Bay for $20, and I just happened to be good at it. And it started kind of like picking up steam. And then what happened was the bartending gig that I was kind of ashamed of ended up being the best thing ever. I talked to hundreds of people every day. And so I would give my card out. And at the time I was competing, so I was in shape. And so I would get asked questions, give the card. And my clientele started growing. So the bartending gig worked with the personal training gig and just kind of worked out.
So when you met the owner of Hardcore Fitness, when was that? So you're taking people to the park.
Yeah.
And then how long after that did you start?
So that was probably 3 years later.
Okay.
And so I was actually just telling a story when me and Larry first met. He didn't like me because we did a show together and I did pretty well. And the second time we hung out, we drove out to Vegas together for a show. I was doing the show. His friend Art Ortiz was doing the show. And he was just going out there with us. And so as we're going out there, he's telling me about this gym called Hardcore Fitness that he started. And so it's like kind of becoming intriguing. And at the time I was like, all right, well, I've been doing this personal training thing for 4 years at the time. I was saving money and I didn't know what I wanted to do. If it was going to open a gym, do a supplement company or a shop, or I didn't know. I just kind of like putting money away. And, it never got any farther than that. He just told me about it. I said, this sounds cool. Well, as I came home from that Vegas trip, I got busier and busier. And the thing that I love about the gyms, and you could attest, is like, it's cool that you can get like 20, 30, 40 people, 50 people at some of the gyms in an hour. At my best, I could not get more than 10 people a day. Ran out of time.
Yeah.
It was just unable to. So my schedule was full. I was making great money, sounding great. The legitimate reason of why I wanted to open the gym was how can I help more people faster? And so me and him connected again, actually at the Olympia. I think it was 2012. About a year later. And I said, hey, man, have you ever thought about doing a second location? He's like, no. He didn't know.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a system. I mean, we're still working on the system and the processes. But that's kind of how it happened. So I came home. I started looking for a space, and that was 2013.
So what do you think for people maybe listening that are running their own fitness, like fitness classes at the park, why is that you couldn't get more than 10 people at the park compared to actually at a brick and mortar place?
Hours of the day. I mean, I guess now group training is becoming more popular.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds really bizarre, but 8 years ago, there wasn't a lot of group training. It was one-on-one.
Yeah.
And you got as much money as you can in that 1 hour. Even us, we just launched this whole express, like even 30-minute group sessions. Yeah. And it really is kind of like the wave. Even the classes at Hardcore Fitness, like you're getting more people in. Just as a personal trainer, that's why a lot of people have gone online. But it's not personal. You're just an online coach. So I don't think any young fitness trainer that's like up and coming could figure out a way to help 100 people a day, 200 people a day, or whatever it is, training at the park. There's just like, unless you're doing body weight stuff that we just got done talking about, it sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so it's the movement of like the weights and that kind of stuff
I mean, you can't be at the park. There's no equipment.
Yeah.
I can't go to 24-hour fitness and train 7 people.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to. You can't go, you just can't do those things unless you create your own space.
Makes sense.
And then most people that create their own space are going to create a personal training studio, which is 1,000, maybe 2,000 square feet. You're not getting 50 people in an hour into a class.
So making that jump from probably very minimal overhead at the park compared to actually a brick and mortar shop, how was that? That'd be pretty stressful, right? A big jump.
Yeah. Well, I got lucky. So because we have this gym called, I think it's called The Gym now, but it used to be called Worlds.
Okay.
It was right down the street from the park. So as I got busier, I started taking people there, but they didn't charge overhead.
Okay.
So I felt comfortable. I was like, this works. I'm inside a gym. I got clients. I'm busy all day. But either way, you're right. It's still the jump.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the fear that most, maybe not even people ever become an entrepreneur, because who wants to make that risk?
Yeah.
I always tell the story because there's new hardcore fitness owners and they're like, dude, I don't know how you do it with a family because I'm always with my wife and my son. I got lucky that I did this without anybody. I was by myself. So I was able to work 20 hours a day, every single day, whenever I wanted. And no one told me, like, I didn't feel obligated.
Yeah.
So I do feel like for someone who has a family, even if they don't have a family, they just have a spouse, or maybe they have just kids and they're a single parent, how do you make that jump? I don't know the answer to that because it's hard. I mean, when you go into a business, you're all in.
So your first location, you were the owner, manager of the location.
Yeah.
And then you had success there. Then you decided, I'm going to open up another place. Yet, were you also the owner and manager at that place too?
Yeah.
Or how does that work?
So I ended up, this is a crazy thing. So I actually started the first location with a partner. Her name was Haley Martin. We called her Haley May. She was my client, and she used to be probably, besides Taboo, the most popular trainer at Core Power. So she's teaching yoga. I started taking yoga classes, and I was like, dude, this is cool. Like, what if I can get people to lift weights and then do yoga? And so we partnered up, And so it ended up working out in the beginning, but then the yoga just kind of never took off because it's really hard to go hard in the gym, go heavy, and then try to go like namaste like 5 seconds later. So I learned as we've grown is yoga just needs to be yoga. Core Power is the best at yoga. Let them do yoga. Rush is the best at spin. Let them do spin or whatever. So the first gym blew up. I don't know if it was part of, I mean, we worked really hard to make it work, but it just took off. And within 6 months, we were on a wait list. I was in a tiny little gym. We were joking about it a couple of days ago. I mean, it's literally in the back of a business park. It's the smallest plot ever. So at 6 months, we went on a wait list, and it was the best marketing strategy I ever could have done. I wouldn't take your money. So, oh, you want to come join the gym? I'll put your name on a list. We'll get back to you when someone cancels. And it drove people crazy. And the list just grew and grew and grew. And that's how we opened the second location. I couldn't fit more people in. So we started looking for a second location, ended up opening one in El Cajon. A lot of the people were already driving like 30 minutes to come to our gym.
Wow.
So a bunch took off over there. Then we started to fill those two up.
So when did you start the challenge? Because you guys have a 6-day challenge that it seems like it drives a lot of traffic to your gym.
Yeah. I credit Larry with that idea, but I think I talked about it in some of these notes here is I really do feel like we started the whole challenge craze. I don't think we created the challenge, but as now, like you can go on your Instagram and every single online coach, every gym, I mean, even like food companies and stuff, everyone's doing a challenge.
Yeah.
And so it really caught wind. And so what we've been trying to do is to stay on top of that. But yeah, the original idea of the challenge is we used to give away a ton of money, and it was just to drive traffic into the gym. What we did differently, though, is we gave people actual nutrition guidance. Like we taught people how to eat. And so the results were there.
Yeah.
The results get more people in the gym, more referrals. Eve's a perfect example.
Shout out to Eve.
Yeah.
So you opened that location, you expand to the next one, and are most of the current owners, I guess, previous challengers or members, or how do you usually find those people?
So what's dope is at that time, I ended up buying my partner Haley out.
Okay.
She, and the story is cool. Like, I know we're talking about like entrepreneurial stuff. She started the business because like it was more of a passion thing.
Yeah.
We never anticipated it to grow like this. And I would work 20 hours a day, and that was not what she signed up for. She didn't want to do 20 hours a day. So she, I'm going to text him this.
Yeah.
She would, sorry.
You're fine. So she was working there. It was kind of just more of an idea for her, but it wasn't like a full-on passion project. While you're putting the 20 hours in, that was not her.
She didn't want to do that. And
Yeah.
so I could see it. So we started having like a little bit of a conflict where I wanted to blow this thing up.
Yeah.
You know, like my mindset is just in a different level, and I just knew that I could feel it from her. And so we just had the conversation. I said, I know you never anticipated it to be like this. You never signed up for this. And she's like, you're right. This is not what I wanted. I love the members. I don't love business. I just don't want to do it. So I bought her out. She moved to she ended up marrying a member.
Oh, wow.
And they have a family. They're having their second kid. And then Jamie, who's the partner in downtown, was my challenge coordinator. So I learned quickly too. I kind of started getting partners for this. Like I can't be the face of the business. I can't teach class. I can't do all the stuff. So Jamie was a member, and then helped become a partner downtown, open that location, including my wife. My wife helped us open that location. And then after that, Vista was 2 of the trainers. So I had 2 trainers come approach me and say, hey, I want to open a gym. They had been with me for years, so I trusted them, and then they opened Vista and blew it up. After that was when we actually came out with the franchise. And so we, to this day, never have announced it publicly. I went into a Facebook group in one of our communities and said, hey, any members, staff, whoever wants to open up a location, let me know. I probably had 100 emails. And I was the first one to do it. I did it before Larry. So we were like, damn, this is crazy. So out of now the 22 locations, I want to say every single one of them was a staff member or a member. Yeah. Wow. I don't think there's one that's not. We haven't publicly announced like, hey, sign up and join Hardcore Fitness franchise.
Do you think why that's a reason why you've been so successful? Is because the people that actually are owners have actually seen the success firsthand and been involved or something?
Yeah. So I think this is going to be the tough part of our business is everyone that's a current owner is super passionate about business or passionate about the gym.
Yeah.
But I don't think necessarily they don't know how passionate they are about business yet.
Oh, okay.
And I just feel like it's gonna come up, and this is all across the board. I have a lot of friends that try to start businesses and open businesses, and it's not all cracked up to what everyone thinks it is, you know. And I know I've seen some of the people you guys have talked to on the show, and everyone thinks it's like, because of Instagram, it's nice cars and nice houses and shit's just easy. I'm on vacation every day. I just drink Mai Tais. They don't see the struggle, and a good topic for a podcast that me and Larry talked about, because we have this Go Hard podcast, is just talking about the struggles. Like, no one just goes on Instagram and says, dude, today sucks. I woke up, I had a text 4:30 in the morning. My trainer didn't show up. It was horrible. Also, the plumbing at the bathroom is backing up. Oh, it sucked. Like, no one talks about all that.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about that. It's like when someone actually takes a selfie with no makeup on, it's like, oh my gosh, you're so brave.
Yeah.
You're so brave.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I blame everything on Instagram. Oh, like, I really do.
It's the idea of instant gratification, and you look at someone else's life, because let's say they take a picture a day or 2 pictures a day, and those are the best highlights of their day. There's a lot more time in that day. There's the horrible times.
So how do we change? Like, I know this is totally off topic, but like, how do we change that? Like, how do we get people to go on social media and talk about real stuff and not just post pictures of their ass that are at a great angle with a great light and doesn't look like that good? How many times have you met someone from Instagram and go, that's not what you look like?
Oh no, it's funny because you see people, and I maybe I was naive, but I would see people that took 30 pictures with a photographer in a showing with a bunch of different outfits, and they post one every couple of days, and it's like, that makes sense. That's why every picture looks so perfect. You basically took a photo shoot, making it look like it was multiple days.
And they do multiple photo shoots. The photo shoots for nothing. Yeah. They're not like, what are you trying to be? You're not a model. You're not, you know.
Well, so, it's the idea too, though. Some people, if you are real on social media, and I try to be as real as possible on social media, but someone was telling me that if you are real on there and you say something negative, half the people are going to actually be happy because they're better off than you. And it makes them feel a little better off. And the other people are not going to care. Yeah. It is going to be that rarity. There's going to be a couple people that maybe actually care for you and want to help you out. But it's that kind of mindset that it's easier to push someone down than pull someone up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of cliche stuff, but, you know, successful people have small circles. Yeah. And it's so true. Like, no, I think the hardest part is, and there's a saying for this too, is like, it's hard for people to be happy for someone that they've known because everyone came from the same place. Yeah. We all went to school together. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I figured out a way to make it and you didn't, and you're not happy for me because naturally it's just human instinct and human nature to kind of be a hater.
Well, you put yourself in a mirror because you're looking at it while they were able to do it. Like I had this one guy and I talked about it before, but from Poland. And he was the humblest guy around. He came from Poland. He came over here, nothing. Long story short, he went to the military just so he can have enough money to pay for med school, and becomes a plastic surgeon. And he's the humblest person. I'm like, now the person goes, oh, someone else would have done the same thing I did. I go, no, they wouldn't have had that drive to actually fight for it. Yeah. Like, it's just.
Well, that's mindset, though. Yeah. You know, I talk about mindset all the time. Like, we all. Again, cliche. We all have the same 24 hours. Yeah. How come some people figure it out and some people don't? Yeah. You know why everybody's not an entrepreneur? Because everybody can't. Yeah. Their mind doesn't go that full level. They can't figure it out. You ever listen to like David Goggins? Yeah. That dude's crazy.
Oh, he's impressive.
Crazy, but like he's proven like I feel like my mindset is strong. This dude makes you feel like a pussy. Like, I don't know if I can say that on here, but dude, it's like this guy talks and like he could run 100 miles with broken ankles and broken feet and like. Just mindset.
It was crazy. This is something that I'm going to start incorporating. It was something that I just picked up more recently, that there was this guy that wanted to do, I think it was 30 Ironman in 30 days, 30 days in a row, in a month, right?
That's crazy.
And so what he did is on day 20, he fell and hurt himself. And his daughter runs up to him with this, like this bowl or some kind of carrier piece with a bunch of notes that he wrote to himself why he's doing this. And so he started reading through them, and then he finally got to the one that basically pushed him to get back up and then finish the Ironman.
That's sick.
And so I was like, damn, that's hard right there, because that gives you that extra push when you need it, because we all need that extra push. It doesn't matter how you're going to get there.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like thinking about the bad times. Like, I'm never sleeping on my couch, someone's couch again. I used to have all my supplements in a travel Tupperware thing that I would carry up. Like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And anytime things start getting hard, I'm like, no, I'm not going back there. I actually think I think most successful people, to be honest, have some rock bottom moment. Even like the most successful fitness people I know, it all started from a breakup.
Yeah.
They want a revenge. They're going to look good. I'm going to get back. And that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
And I think successful people go, look, I've had my back against the wall. I've had nothing. I have no fear. I'm going to figure out a way to make this work.
Well, the powerful thing is, because I think most of us push away from fear, right? We push away from pain. It's when you can change your mindset to go towards pleasure. And that's a tough thing to do. I work on that on a consistent basis, trying to turn away from actually going towards pleasure instead of going away from pain.
Yeah.
That's it
was natural. It's a natural, David Goggins talks about it. Like, no one wants fear.
Yeah.
No one wants to face those fears. No one wants pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you get broken down, you're going to come back stronger for sure.
Well, so if let's say we have someone in the fitness industry, someone that's a personal trainer, someone that just likes to work out like yourself, and they're thinking about getting into this kind of industry, or maybe your younger self, that younger self that was the bartender. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice would you give your younger self or one of those people?
Yeah, I mean, you know what's crazy now is, like, I feel like I caught the wave right before. You know, like, people caught the .com wave and things like that. Like, I was doing fitness and competing when it wasn't cool. I was a guy walking around with my gallon of water and my Tupperware, and everyone pointed and made fun of me. Yeah. Like, it wasn't cool. So I sacrificed and did it at the time, and I got it. Now it's so competitive because of Instagram. Yeah. There is a billion good-looking people, guys, girls, with amazing physiques and bodies. Yeah. How do you separate yourself? And I think I talk about in the notes, I think the hardest thing for fitness is, unfortunately, most of the fitness people in the fitness industry are the most insecure people I've ever seen. I mean, I'm friends with all the top people, and it's crazy to think like they're perfect, but they don't think they are. Yeah. And so their fitness journey, or their fitness trainer journey, is all about them. Yeah. It's all about stroking their ego. And so I think if I can go back and I tell young trainers, including my own trainers, if you're here just to make money, it's not going to work. Yeah. It's just like when I tried to do real estate, I did it for the money. It didn't work. Yeah. That's not what drove me. So any young fitness entrepreneur, I'm going to tell them, you have to enjoy and want to help people. Yeah. Plain and simple. And if you do, everyone sees it. I mean, you just said you've been to a handful of gyms. I'm sure you see the trainer who actually genuinely cares and wants to help, and you're like, that's my guy or girl or whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's got to come from the bottom of your heart. Like, you have to genuinely want to help people.
Well, and this is jump back a little bit, but the idea of, I know you guys don't really classify yourselves as like a CrossFit thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you push away from it. Like, and you guys, I've been to CrossFit gyms. I've been to other gyms. Where did that come from? Like, the idea that, because I think it's still fairly unique, the platform that you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, so many people are trying to knock us off. I mean, there's people right now, down the street trying to knock us off. And the problem that's going to come is we had this talk before we got on here. Personal training in a group setting. CrossFit is dope. It really is. I just tell people when they come into hardcore fitness, CrossFit is, to me, a sport. Yeah. It's how fast and how heavy can you lift, and it's a competition. It's super cool if you're into that. I think what's cool is looking good naked. So if that's what you want to do, come to hardcore fitness. I'm going to teach you how to eat correctly, and I'm going to teach you how to train your body and your muscles to grow to make you look more sexy. Yeah. So again, people are going to try to knock it off, and now we're coming up with, our iLift system or the equipment we're designing. We're just becoming on a whole nother level that it's going to be really hard for people to catch us, at least in that group setting. You can go to any gym and do one-on-one, but and also I don't knock CrossFit. I don't think any gym is worth knocking, because if you can get someone off the couch and get them in to a gym, P90X is dope. Yeah, that got people off the couch and doing something.
That was huge.
It was huge, and it's still cool. Like, so from me, like, I have no competition in the gym world because I want everyone to win. Yeah, I don't know how many billion of people are here, but even in San Diego, there's 4 million people, I believe. Yeah, I only have about 2,500 of them.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed, especially going to other gyms, is no knock on it. I was, probably not the best shape when I was focused on real estate, But there's a lot of people at the gym that you have that good amount of people where it's a balancing act. You have people that are fit. You have also people that are not where they really want to be. When you go to maybe a CrossFit gym or other kind of gyms, most of the people are fairly good shape.
Yeah.
Like even if it's just like walking around shape, but there's definitely a variance of people that you have at the gyms I've been to at Hardcore.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing we specialize in. It's not like you just have to be super jacked.
Yeah.
We got a guy, I was just talking to him, he wants to work for us. He's in El Cajon. We call him Big Mike.
Yeah.
And when he started with us, he was 550 pounds.
Wow.
And it was the biggest member we've ever had. And the guy's been with us for 4 years. He teeter-totters, but he loses weight. He comes back. And I use that example. This guy's huge. He was able to kill it in class. He works out hard. Same gym has a 74-year-old. Guy comes every single day. Wow. And he does cardio before he gets on. Wow. We got grandmas. Then we got the young guys. And then, now we're starting to get a lot of people doing the shows. Yeah. So I think something we've really been able to specialize in is like, you could do it at all levels. Yeah. You could be old, you could be young, you could be male, female. You make the class based off of you. And so again, like CrossFit to me, it's like, it's a sport. And those guys are badass, and girls. Yeah. I used to live right across the street from Invictus over here, and these girls are badass. I'm like, they're running around with their little tight booty shorts. And I'm like, okay, like these girls are sick. So it's just that I think even though we say we're hardcore and it's the title sounds bad, it's a very welcoming environment. When we get new members in, we really try to make it feel like it's welcome. It's a safe place. There's nothing worse than going into a gym and people talking shit. Yeah. Like the new people that go to 24-hour fitnesses and you see members that go there that are like pointing and like kind of talking about them like they don't know what they're doing. Like that ain't cool. Yeah. So I hate the gyms when they badmouth New Year's. Oh, the New Year's people are going to be here for 2 weeks. Let them come for 2 weeks. They're trying to work out. Yeah. And maybe a couple of them stick it out and it works, Like I think fitness has to be a very welcoming and safe haven. Like you got to be able to feel like you can go to the gym and no one's going to make fun of you and point at you.
Yeah. So what do you see next for hardcore? So you have 22 locations.
I think it's 22. I think I just had this talk. I think 15 are actually open. So okay. We're working on one in San Marcos here. We're working on one in Miramar. There's going to be one in Eastlake that we're starting to work on, which is probably like the most common one everyone's trying to find. Yeah. Like everyone keeps asking us. Larry's got big visions for it, but I'm more like my whole mindset is just focused on San Diego right now. I don't have any locations outside of this region. Temecula's right outside, so that kind of doesn't count. But my main goal is just to take over San Diego. Yeah. I want it to be a household name. Like I want people to know what hardcore fitness is, and even with 7 locations, people still don't know what it is. Yeah. So I want to literally change as many lives as possible. And I love nothing more like go to like the challenge parties and people are like, this gym changed my life. Yeah. That shit is crazy. When someone tells you that, you're like,
it's powerful.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So is that your plan to basically get like, where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see hardcore fitness in a year, 2 years? Like what's that vision right there?
Yeah. What's crazy is I don't even have like that timeline. Like in a year, we're going to have a couple more locations. Okay. And then my goal is to fine tune these locations and keep making these locations better and better. I'm 37. Like my whole plan was to be like, once I'm in my 40s, I like slowly start backing it up and kind of like letting the gyms manage them. Right now I'm very controlling and I like to have my thumb on everything. And I'm like trying to learn how to not do that. I would guess just the way the growth is and the way that we're starting to scale in like a few years. I truly believe hardcore fitness is going to be like a national brand. We just made the Inc. 5000 2 years in a row. I'm pretty sure this will be our 3rd year on it. It's we're growing fast, but we're scaling smart.
What do you see in the fitness industry? Because that's a constantly changing business. What do you see happening there in the future?
Yeah. You know what? We just came out with like this small group training, 30-minute express. And I think not just that we're implementing it, but people really like that small kind of intimate feeling. And obviously the classes and group fitness and boutique gyms have blown up. Yeah. Even 20, like I have a membership at every gym. 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness are really jumping on the group training because people need it. Yeah. So I see the thing about fitness is what I love is it's not going anywhere. Yeah. It's going to be cool for a long time. It took a long time to get cool, but like people go on their phone and take a picture of a cool meal, like healthy meal, and post it because they're proud that they're eating something healthy.
Yeah.
It's not going nowhere. So I think the fitness industry is going to continue to evolve. People are coming up with cooler ideas. You're going to have gyms like Russian Soul Cycle do what they do so well. It's like the best. They're the best at that niche. Core Power. No one does yoga better than them. Yoga's whatever. There's maybe some other ones. We want to be the best in our industry where it's group training in a personal training setting. We're literally trying to make people gain muscle, look good, So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The fitness industry, it's not going anywhere. It's blowing up. It's definitely not going anywhere.
Fair enough. Well, thank you. How would someone find out Hardcore Fitness if they want to join? Where would be the best place for them to go?
Yeah, I mean, you could just Google any of the Hardcore Fitnesses. They all have a different address. So the main one's Hardcore Fitness, SD@SanDiego.com. We got downtown El Cajon.
Go on Instagram, look at Hardcore Fitness or look at 60 Day Challenge. You'll see impressive results right there. Just off looking at those things alone, you're going to want to join.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to The Road to Growth, Success of an Entrepreneur. Please like, subscribe, and stay connected. Visit www.vinnySD.com.
Yeah, I created a website.
Hope to see you again next week. Team Vinny SD, signing off.